Hello, my superstars. It's the Star Warrior horse here. And today I'm doing a little post-BreyerFest discussion so we can talk about basically anything BreyerFest per se. Okay, just making sure. Okay, just a little notification letting me know that my stream is live. Just to make sure, can all of you hear my voice? Can you hear the background music? Oops, I accidentally hit. Sorry, it's the lamp. I hit the wrong button. But are you able to hear my voice properly? And can you hear a sound in the background? Also gonna see if chat is working properly. It should be open to everyone. But yeah, I'm here to talk like anything about BreyerFest, like this BreyerFest, the upcoming BreyerFest. So I had a pretty nice time. Of course, I had to do it online, sadly. I had everything lined up to go in person, but just some things have come up recently that would have utterly prevented me from being able to go in person. So, yeah, things happen, life happens. And because of that, I had to do BreyerFest online. But overall, I think Breyer did a very good job. I always loved the live broadcasts. I also loved what was going on in the covered arena. Athenian lady is gorgeous. I mean, the real horse and the model horse, they're both very, very beautiful. And I was really hoping to see them, but unfortunately I couldn't see them in person for some reasons. But I'm hoping that maybe, God willing, that I'll be able to get to BreyerFest in person next year. And if so, I would definitely indulge the opportunity to visit the guest horses and such. So that's what's in the books now. Keeping my fingers crossed for next year. Thankfully, I got all the models that I was hoping to get. I put in a couple of special runs for my preference list, and thankfully managed to get the ones that I wanted. So that was very exciting that I was able to get them. So I got those. Then the Breyer store I was pretty happy about, but I was a little saddened that they didn't have like some of their other merchandise. Like, people talked about how like they had like mugs and glasses like in the actual BreyerFest store, but they didn't have them available for purchase at the park, sadly. I mean, they had them at the park, but they didn't have them available online to purchase. And I don't know why Breyer didn't decide to make those items available for online attendees. I think they could have made much more money going that route if they had gone that route, but for whatever reason they didn't, which I thought was a fumble on their part. But, and the other thing I would have loved would have been that 35-year commemorative edition. That it was almost like a booklet, almost like a magazine, where they have like all the stuff regarding the previous year's BreyerFest, but they didn't have that available to online attendees, which is a crying shame, because it's like I would have purchased that. I would have like paid that $12. Like, that wouldn't have been a concern in my book. That would have been something that I could keep, and I could also continue to pass down to someone else, or or give to someone that I care about. But I mean, that's a collector's item right there. I mean, okay, maybe it doesn't have the same exact value as the models themselves, but it is a piece of model horse history. Just checking a little something with the error occurred. Wait, what's going on? Alright, something's going on with my, okay, it's saying my stream health is in good condition. I'm just gonna double check and make sure it's playing properly on my, on my device real quick. Let me see if it's played. Oopsie. I'm sorry if there's a bit of an echo there. Okay, so it appears to be playing properly on my device, so that's a good thing. Help, someone is watching BreyerFest from Antarctica. Really? Oh my gosh. Hey, it's Wild Horse. Nice to see you. They had that happen last year. And that was really exciting. Like, I remember, like, last year they talked about, oh, we got people on every continent streaming BreyerFest, but we don't have anyone from Antarctica. And then they finally got someone from Antarctica. Although I wonder if that person really is from Antarctica. I just wonder if that person probably used a VPN, secure VPN, and changed their VPN location per se from wherever they really were from to Antarctica. But if that person was really from Antarctica, like, bruh, that would be awesome. I think, what's her name? I'm trying to remember her name. I met her. Yeah, Christina Riley, I think. Sorry, just a little something flying here. But Christina Riley, she is a well-established model horse artist, and she talked about taking an Antarctica cruise last year. But the issue there was that she tried to stream BreyerFest from there, but because the cruise was a French cruise and they went out from France, the VPN, or not VPN, but I think whatever IP address it was streaming from, it showed like it was streaming from France instead of Antarctica. I was making a model horse carriage and then this notification came. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Maybe you could share it in one of your shorts or videos. That would be neat to see. I'm kind of late thanks to that. Oh, no worries. I'm like, heck, you know, this is a fun week for so many people. So many people are doing crafts, and if you happen to pop in, that's wonderful. But I'm a promise. I'm a promote the live on my channel. Oh, awesome! Thank you so very much. Hey, I definitely appreciate that. I love that. I'd love to see the carriage you're working on. It's my understanding they're pretty difficult to make, but there wouldn't have happened to be like, I didn't see any workshop on that. But if there is or something like that, hit me up. I'd love to. Maybe it was one of Lisa Model Horses videos on how to do that, which wasn't like a BreyerFest workshop, but is still pretty neat. But excuse me. So just out of curiosity, did you get to do virtual BreyerFest this year or not? I got to do it. I enjoyed it pretty much. I enjoyed it quite a bit, but the only thing I was really super bummed out about was that the Celebration of Horses show was broken. Like, I tried to play it, but there was screen tearing, there were so many dropped frames, or like either a low frame rate or dropped frames. I'm thinking it's more dropped frames because they didn't have this problem last year. And I thought it was an issue on Breyer's end. But they have like a company called MSI Productions who goes in and is responsible for doing that, and they made a fumble of some sort because like the screen tearing and the drop frames were just so extreme to the point where I could hardly even watch the show, sadly. Oh, thank you so very much for advertising that. It's Wild Horse. It is a crying shame because I love the Celebration of Horses show. It's one of my favorite parts about BreyerFest, but something happened. Something happened there. What it was, I've got no clue. But yeah, that's a shame that happened because I would have loved to have seen it without all the distraction from the screen tearing. But I don't know, hopefully like next year they get it figured out. I'm gonna be sure to like mention that in the Post-BreyerFest survey once it comes out, and just tell them, hey, you guys, I know you guys are excellent at this stuff, but someone on your team, either you got a new guy in there working the tech stuff and he made a mistake, or there's a connectivity problem, or the bit rate is too low. Because even for this stream, in order for it to work properly, it needs to be at a certain bit rate. Otherwise, it just will not work. Hi, Coyote Clockwork Studios! Welcome! From the new Breyer horses, which one is your least favorite? Oh, are you talking about the ones that were talked about at BreyerFest? Because mine is Kasako. Yeah, it's sad because I love the real horse Kasako, but I just didn't like his model at all. Number one, I kind of have a prejudice toward the Animar mold, is it called? I can't remember for sure. But yeah, it's I passed on the surprise horse and got Full Moon Rising. Neat. The surprise horse was on the Winx mold. I like Winx, but I'm happier with my choices, and Full Moon Rising is although Full Moon Rising may be a regular run, it's definitely nice. It's hard to say which model was really my least favorite. It's probably Gilded. I don't know. It's because I'm picky when it comes to decorators. You probably heard me say that more times than I can recount. But I like the mold. The mold was great, but that decorator, it's I'm sorry, not for me. I barely have shelf space now. I'm not gonna add another model to my collection that I'm not fond of, obviously. I like the new Welsh Cob, kinda. Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. It's a little different for me, but I like it at the same time. It's just I think I would have liked him better as a dark bay. I know some people they get tired of plain bays, but I kind of like him for whatever reason. I went to California a month ago and found the new Breyers, but sadly they were so expensive. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they can be very expensive when they first release, but if you wait around Christmas time, you go to your retailers like Tractor Supply or Cow Ranch or something, and you wait until the holidays, you can find some excellent deals on them. I love the new Welsh Cob, laugh out loud, neat. I wish I would have gotten a chance to see what it looks like in person, but I just didn't get that opportunity this year because so many things just came up, sadly. I was so hoping for Wixom to be the surprise. She probably will never be. Oh, I'm so sorry. That would have been neat to have her, as a surprise. And, I know this isn't really entirely related, but if you saw the auction models, when I looked at the Wixom auction model, I was blown away by how pretty she really was. And thought to myself that Appaloosa pattern makes her almost look like one of those not stock horses, one of those drafts. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think Sugar Bush draft, I think. And I just thought to myself, if I had money, I'd take her up in a heartbeat, but I don't have that kind of money. The Babe Appy Wixom auction model was my favorite. Neat. I don't know what price she went for, but all I know is that the Albie, if I'm not mistaken, he went for over $35,000. I'm bruh. I'm congrats to the person who won them. I'm just wondering, oh my gosh, who sold their kidney to afford that horse? But then again, Alvarozos are they're worth their weight in gold. It's if I had to invest in anything that if you had an investor come to me and say, you're going to want to invest in silver, gold, platinum, I'm no. I'm going to invest in Albarozos because their value is only going one way and one way only up. Did the Albarozo break the Pegasus record? I don't know, and I should know that, but I don't. But what, you know what? I think I could quickly Google, I'm gonna Google that real quick and go to, actually I'm gonna go to Identify Your Breyer, because I think they have, the prices that their previous BreyerFest auction models went for. Am I the only one who doesn't collect traditionals but collects stablemates? No, I don't think you're the only one. It's Wild Horse. There's a number of people who collect stablemates only. I'm trying to remember what year was the Pegasus? Was that last year or the year before? I can suss. Okay, it's not showing up on here, so it was probably 2022. Let me double check. A lot of showers do nothing but minis because of the aggravation of moving stuff. Oh man, as someone who moved around most of my life, good portion of my life, yeah, I get that trouble there. But I mean, yeah, what I do with movers is I let them know, I pack my models, and if I don't take them with me, I give them detailed directions. I be nice to them, treat them well, but I'm like, hey, buckets need to be right side up, they're fragile, so handle with care. I met one lady who had nothing but mini resins, hundreds of times. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I don't have any large resins. I'm just looking up the Pegasus, Pegasus to see, was it, it looks like no. I think the Albi sold for 3,500 if I'm not mistaken. So no, I think the Silver Dun Pegasus is still it's still the champion if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I have okay, initially I had two. I got another almost curio size resin and a micro mini resin, so I've got four now, and but a lot of them I either got at excellent deals, or one of them was a semi graduation gift for when I graduated from high school many years ago. Man, it's just the prices. I ain't buying a common easy to find traditional for $350. Yeah, the prices are definitely high. I want to buy a gem twist model though. Yes, I mean they're nice, but if you want to get good deals, my recommendation is browse Craigslist and see if anyone's getting out of the hobby, because what happens is you got people who go to college and they're just getting rid of their collection, or there's estate sales, or if you go to BreyerFest, you go to the Clarion, that is the best deals because the prices are super competitive for those of you who ever get to go there. Some of the prices in Lonesome Glory's videos were crazy, curios for, oh my, what? I'm trying to think, bro, nah, yeah, I don't blame you. Well, it's Wild Horse. I'm nah, who has oh my gosh, it's for those of you who have super high paying jobs, or you got someone in your family who's wealthy, or you made a living for yourself, a name for yourself, and you're able to afford that, awesome, kudos to you, because I'm bro, I'm mind blown. That's crazy. Oh, I wonder if those are Carolyn Boydston models, because I know her work is really up there as far as being more expensive. I mean, she has an excellent reputation for the work she creates, and I've actually met her. I really like her as a person, but I'm just not ready to sell a kidney to get to get one of her works yet, but I don't know. Maybe if I really get good at painting or something, or maybe I'll one of these days I might get some sort of work done from her. But it's just that her work is, I mean, she has a reputation. With certain artists, like, you have to have a certain reputation and like long list of like LSQ quality models in order to sell them. What is your fave stablemate model? Mine are the Arabians. That's a great question, and I wish I had an easy answer to that, because I really love the Arab. She said, like, mine are the Arabians, and the Piaf, like, Andalusian. Those are pretty cute. I would say, like, I believe I got a Brio at, like, on the Edge Live, the most recent show I went to, and I love that mold. I just have that's the one and only model I have on that mold so far. I think it might be the only one on that mold right now. Do you have a G1 stablemate? I believe I do. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna shut this camera off real quick while I go grab him real quick. Mine is the buggy variation of just Django in general. Oh, cool. I have 4 fakies. What is a fakie? I believe this one here might be a G1. So I'm just gonna turn this back on. But this little guy, I think, like, my aunt and uncle gave him to me. Hi, Purely Wild Horse. Hi, welcome. It's nice to see you. Knockoffs. Oh, cool. Like, knockoffs. But yeah, this is, I'm not sure if it's going to show up too well. I'm using something called NVIDIA Broadcast, so it has this ability to kind of, like, remove the screen, which is cool, because then I'm able to do this kind of cool stuff in the background. But unfortunately, it's not always the best for showing off models. They're tiny. He's pretty too. Oh, thank you so very much, Purely Model Horses. 2 Palominos and 2 Bays. Oh, nice. But yeah, like, I think I believe he might be a G1. If I double check with Identifier Breyer. But yeah, as far as I'm aware of, the Silver Dome Pegasus from 2022 is still number 1 as far as having sold. I'm just if I'm looking down, it's not to ignore anyone, it's just to double check if this is really G1 Arabian. Yeah, he's the G1 Arabian Stallion, and he's a JC Penney model. So a proud Arabian. I'm not sure if he's necessarily considered proud Arabian. He's just called Arabian Stallion by Maureen Love. Although I know that Hagen Renneker, if I'm not mistaken, is responsible for creating these molds. Native dancer. I'm trying to think about what native dance. Those are rare. Thanks for looking up the Pegasus thing. No problem. That I was pretty interested in finding out too. I remember I found a proud Arab Stallion for less than $100, but the bad thing is that it couldn't be sent. Oh, I am so sorry. It's Wild Horse. Oh man, that sucks. Maureen Love molds are amazing, aren't they? I mean, they're one of the Maureen Love's molds are, like, underrated, but they're like one of those vintage molds that I actually am pretty fond of, surprisingly. Since when did JCPenney sell Breyers? Okay. I am begging, I'm hoping, almost praying that JCPenney brings back their Breyer, their line of Breyer horses. They discontinued selling Breyers in 2011. I've actually have the last set of JCPenney models. They used to have in the 90s they were into catalog. Yes, Coyote Clockwork Studios. got a few JCPenney Breyers for Christmas, same, like, roughly for that reason, but like a little bit of a different reason, but at least in my case, but I've got smoke and mirrors. Actually, I can bring them out real quick. I'm just gonna do this real quick while I go to grab them. Hopefully this will stay. I just gotta be extremely careful how I go about this, so that way I don't drop anything. And I'm also gonna put away this little stablemate, so that way I don't wind up hurting him. Okay. So, just gonna pull this back open. Yeah, I know it's Wild Horse. It makes me so sad, but here I've got mirrors, and then the other model that came with her, Smoke, and at the time I got the deal on them was excellent too. And it could have been because JCPenney was just trying to get rid of their inventory, but yeah, I mean, these two, they're the last of their kind, like dinosaurs, the last of their kind. I'm just gonna set them down real quick before I look at the chat. I remember getting Dark Silver Jumper that came with his own little brick jump stand. How neat! I remember Walmart sold Schleichs, but for a few months I could only get one. Bring them back, please. I was not aware that Walmart sold Schleich. I know that, like, when I was a kid, and now, like, it looks like they're doing it again, they sold Breyers. Like, they actually sold, like, the Mustang sets. So they would come in these little boxes. You have these classic sized, like mare in full, or stallion in full, or horse with a wild animal sets. And that's pretty much, you know, after the Spirit Rain in full set, that was also at Walmart, the full, like the classic sized Spirit Rain in full set that my grandma gave me. That started everything, but then I started to go to Walmart and getting the Wild Mustang sets, and I pretend like Spirit has his herd with all his little, with his family. Then Walmart stopped for a long time, and then they brought some models back, but it's probably predominantly unicorns. And okay, unicorns are nice, but like, I also like realistic looking horses too. But yeah, they had stablemates more recently and some classic unicorns, but they stopped again. The old Mustang sets were cool. I know I have so much like nostalgic connection to them. We need more Breyers, JCPenney. We don't need baby toys. Yes, you know what? You should be a motivational speaker, because I'm 100% on board with you. Like, for real. I remember Toys R Us being the Breyer hib of my childhood. Really? I know that Toys R Us sold some Breyers, but at least when I started collecting, they had only a few. They didn't have many, sadly. Toys R Us was heaven when I was a kid. I know, it was phenomenal. It was like a kid's paradise. They had giant shelves of Breyers and Schleich. Neat. I only saw small shelves of Breyers. I never saw them carry a lot, but then again, it could be based on when I started collecting. I used to get them there a lot too, mostly classics, but because I had no actual stores with Breyers. That's kind of how it was, you know, like, at least for a time. Like, it seemed like, if I'm thinking about, like, between, I started collecting, like, how many years ago? I'm trying to think around the year. So about, like, from 2004 up to 2011, there appeared to be a bunch of brick and mortar places where you can get Breyers, like Walmart, Tractor Supply, although the JCPenney's, you had to get them, you know, online, but then you also had Target. Target also, they didn't have the adult traditionals, but they had the fulls, and they were nice looking. Pretty much before 2001, yeah, Toys R Us would carry Breyers. That was intimidating. Were they still expensive? They were still expensive in 90s money, yeah, even back then. But you know, at least they were made. Oh, the other place I forgot. The PetSmart were over like when, at the time when, like in one place in Virginia, they had like almost like the whole section, like they had like an equine section with their equine feed and tack, right? But they had a whole shelf. I mean, not like your smaller shelf, like, but one of those larger shelves with Breyer upon Breyer upon Breyer. Traditional. I'm not talking your classic. I'm talking your traditional Breyers. Although they also had mini Winnies and staple mates and such. But they had the quote unquote the very popular models there. Bring Toys R Us back with Breyers and Slikes. Yes. Oh man, they had so many stable mates. Oh my gosh. I miss those days in a way. I mean, I love it now because, you know, now we have the ability to connect, and social media has given us an outlet to really share things and such. But I mean, I wish I could take like the best aspects of that generation and that time period with some of the best aspects of this generation and time period, and you know, converge them, so to speak. I want the stablemate pony with a star clipped in his coat. I'm not familiar with that one. Oh my gosh, I wish I knew about that one, but that sounds pretty neat. I would go to Toys R Us happy as heck if it was still open, and wouldn't care if people would look at me with a car full of plastic horses. Same here. I'm like so sad that they went out of business. I think that what happens is like, and this is one of the things that I'm not so happy about this generation, is that like now a lot of kids are moving away from toys, and everyone is just going to everyone's just going to these things here, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, I love technology as much as anyone, but I mean, something is to be said about actual physical toy or collectible that you just don't get with a smartphone. I think he's Wheeler. He's one of those molds with only one release. I'm interested in finding out. I remember Toys R Us had a little carousel inside their shop, and every time I left, I rode the carousel. Oh, neat! I'm not sure if I've ever been to Toys R Us with a carousel. I've seen a few carousels, like I've seen carousels at different places, but not at Toys R Us. I've been to a number of Toys R Us's over the course of my lifetime, but never seen one with a carousel. But I do remember this one guy who was dressed up as Santa. I mean, of course, they always had that at Toys R Us, I believe. But there was this one guy. He guess he was the same Santa who was at the White House, like back in the early 2000s. But yeah, that's some nostalgia there. Do we know the next team? Okay, all right. I'm excited to share that with you. Okay, so it is. It's cheers to 75 years. I'll actually pull up the graphic real quick. They don't understand this. Yes, kid sounds about right. Yeah, the world may not understand us, but you know what? We do what we love. We love what we do. We're a niche community, but we are also a neat community. Is it under news, or was it like maybe I have to go to I wonder if it's gonna show up under BreyerFest home. So maybe I can so hopefully that's showing up. Oh my gosh. I mean, I like this app thing, but it's just sometimes it doesn't show up super well. But yeah. It's like my dad has 500 Hot Wheels and no one tells him anything. Meanwhile, I have 50 or less horses and they telling me I'm too old for the plastic horses. I know a loophole out of that. All right. When that happens, when people come to my house, either because like to just to visit, or something happens where something has to get fixed, and they look at my collection, I tell them it's an investment. I mean, that's partially true because I really collect mainly for fun. This is something I thoroughly enjoy doing. But if you call it an investment, they think you're talking an investment like basketball cards or gold or some sort of asset. When you say they're an investment, it sounds more mature, and then people start taking you seriously and not looking at it like it's a little kiddie thing. But yeah, I always get them with that one because they're looking at my collection like, oh, what's with all these horses? It's like, it's an investment because their value goes up over time. And in the event, God forbid, that I had to sell my collection for some emergency reason, then yes, in that event, that they would serve as an investment. And like, if it's an anniversary, they'll go nuts with special run splits and variations. I know, right? So that's what I was thinking. Like this year, I was expecting a micro run of 35 of each special run in some sort of green color. So we got like a green colored, what's the name of it? Special run. Special run, but surprise horse. And also even the Wild Things stablemate also has a green variation, but it wasn't a micro run like it has been in years past. But what I think might have happened, because I was wondering, Breyer, why are you going so, like, being so conservative with the amount of models you're outputting as far as variations are concerned? And the only way I can wrap my mind around it is because they're probably, like, you're right, Coyote Clockwork Studios. I believe Breyer is exercising restraint and holding back because come 2025, they're going to focus on the company as a whole. And so, yeah, this is their BreyerFest 35th anniversary, but next year will be the company's 75th anniversary. And maybe in order to avoid taking away attention from next year and to give people an incentive, they're thinking, we're going to do the micro runs next year. We're going to have like 75 of each special run in a specialty color. That's a hunch. That's 100% a hunch on my part. I could be 100% off the mark, or we could see a 75% variation. I don't know, but I think a micro run would make more sense. Like, this live is getting sentimental. I know. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I had a good dinner, but yeah, I love the nostalgia, and I bet the next year's theme is going to be like a wave of nostalgia there. Nah, I had 10. They started telling me that I'm too... Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, some people are judgmental. I remember I would take my Breyers and try to film them. People would just laugh, and I'm like, you know what? You know what they say, just do it for the vine. You do you. People will say, oh, you're too old for this, too old for that, but if your dad can collect 500 Hot Wheels, then no one should be giving you the business over collecting model horses. I also think we're getting hit with the micro runs next year. Yes, I'll be living for that. Like, I had major FOMO this year for not being able to go to this year's BreyerFest, but if it means that next year is going to be even better, then I'll totally welcome that. But when I used to... Oops, something happened. I think something got lost there. I think it's Wild Horse. I think one of your chat things got... I'm not sure if you deleted it or something happened, but I'm not seeing it appear. But if you meant to, for it to stay up there, you could rewrite it again. I'm not sure why it disappeared. I'm so sorry. This year felt like Breyer was cutting corners to save money. Yeah, white markings everywhere, so it makes sense they were going cheap to save from I've got a feeling. I think you're totally onto something. I would assume a micro run of 75. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Maybe diamond themed variations. I felt rude for deleting that. Hey, no worries. No worries. You're not rude. No. The thing is, when it comes to social media, whatever you put out there, that's your that's your decision as a user on social media. It's not rude of you to delete information. But yeah, I'm believe that there's probably, like, you're right, Coyote Clockwork Studios. Um, just out of curiosity, would you be okay if I take a snapshot of that chat message where you said, I assume a micro run of 75, because I might feature that in a BreyerFest 2025 speculations video, because I know I kind of had that hunch initially, but still, I would still like to put it out there for other people who might also be wondering as well. Sure, no problem, great. Can we just talk about when we were old, we all got shoe boxes and used them as... Oh my gosh, yeah, that was so neat. I remember that was a big thing at the time. I also remember the age when people were using popsicle sticks. So I'm just gonna scroll to the message where it says, I would assume a micro run is 75. It's gonna... Oh no, I didn't mean to take the whole screen. No, that's not what I wanted. I don't know, I gotta go to snipping tool and I gotta... Not the whole screen, I wanna just rectangle and just grab that one section that says, I would assume a micro run of 75. Okay, I took a little snapshot of that. Like, sure, no problem. Not gonna lie, some of those boxes looks cool. Laugh out loud. Okay, never mind. When we were young, I didn't mean to say old. Yeah, well, maybe like old compared to like maybe like when we were 5 to 10, and it's like, oh man, like now we're older now. And now it's like, hey, now I graduated from college, and I feel old now because I remember when I was younger and collecting. But yeah, I mean, I still collect now, but like when I was collecting when I was younger versus collecting now that I'm older. But those were really some awesome days back then. Things were simple. We didn't have smartphones. You had to have an actual camcorder to film a YouTube video. We didn't even have Instagram yet. We had YouTube. Like, YouTube was my first initiation into anything social media related. And I remember that was a big thing. And like now, like, I mean, for a period, YouTube kind of dwindled a little bit. And now it's just bursting forth again because, like, now people can upload shorts, and then there's the TikTok controversy, and no one knows what's going to happen with that, if it's going to stay up or it's going to be taken down. I won't get into the politics of that, but what I will say is that, hey, at least it gave people an outlet. It's so sad that the model horse community is not so popular, and they called us weird for collecting figurines. Yeah, it's a crying shame, but people are going to attach a stigma to anything. I mean, they're going to attach a stigma to a wholesome hobby that never hurt anyone. They'll attach a stigma to people being a certain way. Hey, I'm going to be 72 next month and I still collect. Hey, congratulations, Deborah Dan, and thank you for joining this live stream. You see, it's Wild Horse. It doesn't matter. I'm like, you have people like from like as young as 5 to people like in their 80s. Like, another thing I forgot to mention was at one show, like I believe it was Arizona Live back in 2017, I was the youngest person there. There was not a person, I was the only person probably under 40 or 50 that was there at that show. If people have a problem with what I collect, they can get over it. Yeah, for sure. I'm like, people are gonna throw shade for whatever, but the joke's on them, because if you take good care of them, their value goes up. Like when I got these, it's like their retail value is like maybe like $80 for the set here, and now individually their value is like, I believe the last time I checked, I'm not sure if it's the same. It could have gone up, it could have gone down, but it was like over $100 for each model. So it's like the people, them, it's the joke's on you, because they're an asset. It's like right, I'll be buried in my collection like a pharaoh. The haters can deal with us. We will always collect plastic horses. Yes. I said $80 actually. If I got them for $8, that would be like, bruh, I'm like, I would like to know the person who has that kind of luck, because I'll be like, bro, give me some of that. I'm gonna just rub it on me, because I need that kind of luck. $80. I mean, they were worth $80, but I think their price, the deal on them was even cheaper. I think it was in the 50s for the collection. But even if you got them at retail price, I mean, even then, like, their value has gone up. So people just say, "Oh, you're too old to collect plastic ponies." Really? Like, what about those people who collect Pokemon cards, right? They go and collect Pokemon cards, and people will say, "Oh, you're too old to collect Pokemon cards." I actually happen to have the predecessors to the Pokemon cards. They're called Pocket Monsters, but they were technically Pokemon, and they were in Japanese. It was a friend of my mom, from way back, like a family friend of my mom from when she was like in high school. And one time she went to visit my parents and I, and she gave me some those Pocket Monsters cards. They haven't gone up significantly in value, but they're still an asset when you come to think of it, because, well, they haven't gone quite as far up in value as, say, like my models. I'm still hanging on to them because I know that, like, in 30 years that could change very easily. I'd like to see them say that stuff about my porcelain horses. Yeah, for sure. Or the resins, right? Like, you got porcelains or resins. Those are not toys. If anyone says you're too old to collect those, I'm like, okay, I would like to see a 5-year-old play with that, because I would go ballistic if that happened. I only had the horse Pokemon because no one wanted them. Oh, is it the Ponyta? Because I really like Ponyta. I have an Andre by Sarah Rose. Last traditional resin she ever did. He's my pride and joy. Has his own gun case with foam. Sometimes I wonder how much he would go for, but I'd sell everyone else first. How neat. You see, like, they say it's a hobby for kids, but we're putting them in gun cases. It's like, okay, like, yeah, that sounds like a kid's hobby. You're gonna just have a 5-year-old walking around with a gun case, right? And it's like you go to these events and like people, like security, start looking at you like you're sus. And it's like you open it up, they freak out, and it's like, no, it's just a horse, people, don't panic. For real, they don't hate on printed paper, but they hate on us with the resin horse. That's the dichotomy of life, huh? Laugh out loud, someone would steal gun cases and be like, a bottle horse. Yeah, everybody gangsta until they open up the gun cases and find out it's a horse. Well, you know, they say horses are dangerous, so, I mean, you never know. I'm alone. Hi, I'm finally here. Laugh out loud. I almost forgot about that. Hey, no worries, PRS Studios. I'm glad you're finally able to make it. That's wonderful. Walks away mysteriously. Where are the plastic horses? There they are. They'd be so confused. Laugh out loud. Shows good. I mean, like, okay, like, I know people say horses are dangerous, but I'm like, yeah, like, I guess horses could be a weapon. I mean, they're like 1,100 pounds on average, and if they kick you the wrong way, they could be dangerous. opens. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, I mean, I wonder, could you? I mean, you could use a Breyer horse as a weapon, but they're too valuable. I mean, why would you? I mean, what are you just gonna do? Just yeet them at someone you don't like? Like, hello. Like VRS. Oh my gosh. I couldn't myself with the little ears. Oh my gosh. Oh my. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you got cut. But yeah, I mean, we were talking about horses, model horses being weapons. It's like, okay, I'm gonna shake you with this model horse's ears, right? With his pointy ears, right? It's like, no wonder we're keeping them in the gun cases, because those ears are sharp, man. It's like, you won't, like, pretty soon you won't be able to go on American Airlines, because, like, oh, those ears are sharp. They could be a weapon, so you're gonna have to throw them out. And it's like, bro, over my dead body, I'm not throwing out my horses to get on a plane. It's like, yeah, I know you're put on like the no-fly list or FBI watch list for having a model horse. By the way, FBI, if you're listening into this conversation, please collect these tactical collectibles, because they're irresistible. So yeah, the FBI probably watching this, and it's like, hey, I get more subscribers, but oh my gosh, laugh out loud. Yeah, like, it's like, here I am we're talking like gun cases with the horses, tactical weapons, and oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, like, we go from an innocent discussion about horses to being like, yeah, they're dangerous, especially the plastic ones with the pointy ears. What's everyone's favorite SR? As mine was the zebra. How neat! Like the quagga one that is I Will Survive. Is that I think that's the one you were talking about, or is it the Better Than Revenge? Because like they're because I know there are two zebra like type models. The quagga. Do you like the quagga? My favorite was I would have to say probably Fighter and Survivor, because I just love those excuse me, sorry about that. I would have to say probably Fighter and Survivor, but if I had to go for like a single one, I know this is gonna be unpopular. Trying to remember the name. Can't Hold Us Down, because I really love the Indian pony mold, and she's a little, different looking, but she's so pretty in my opinion, and the shading on her was phenomenal. I like Deco's, how neat, but really model horse. So you're referring to Better Than Revenge. I actually, when I saw her in the stream, I realized that I really misjudged her, because I really hated her when I first saw her, and then when I saw her in the stream, I was like, bro, I really misjudged this model. It's actually kind of nice. I have seen some really unique decos. Yes, I also saw Better Than Revenge. It was also pretty unique. Quagga was in person, I think. I believe it might have been available to online attendees too, but I don't know for sure. Just did an SSO stream because I finally got Star Stable. How wonderful, PRS Studios. I'm Saga Star Mountain, and I used the Cookie Canyon server, so if you ever happen to pay a visit to that server and you want to add me, like, please hit me up. I'd totally be up for that. I really, yes. Talking about SSO, they should add male characters, and people are saying, oh, but the story will get changed, and just make a story separately for the male characters. I mean, they talk about that, but then how it would change the story. But then Star Stable, it's like, if they can do different things with like I'm not going to get into it really too much, but like if they have like characters with, other, identities and such, then they can definitely get male characters in there one way or another. I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, they can find a way to get their male characters in there. I remember for a while people were saying, oh, they shouldn't have male characters in there because because of they're afraid of that predators will try to take advantage of that. But if you've looked at Snoopy is My Horses videos, Megan Mixon's videos, Megan mentioned that, you know, that also happens with games where you have fully female characters, and in some ways they can exploit that even worse because you think you're chatting with another female. And you know, if groomers are going to take advantage of something, they will, but you can put in safeguards to prevent that, and ultimately it's up for the parents to know what their kids are playing. And the girls are like, we want representation, bruh, at least they have girl avatars. Yeah, I get it. Like, you know, I'm glad that Star Stable, you know, that they're presenting a positive image for young ladies and such, and for women. But it doesn't mean that, like, I'm of the belief that you don't have to bring one group down to elevate another. Like, if you have to bring one person down or one group down to elevate another, then that's pretty bad. I highly doubt groomers have preferences over scarier character type. Yeah, that's true. I probably won't get too dark into it. Like, yeah, exactly. Regardless of whether it's a girl or boy avatar, predators really don't care. Exactly, because even boys are preyed upon as well. Like, I'm not going to get too much into that topic though, because it's kind of dark. But it's still important for people to know, hey, if you want to protect your kids, you have to be aware of what they're getting into. Shouldn't have put don't there bad grammar, can't type. No worries. Hey, that I get that. I get that. Sometimes I'm typing something and I realize, oh, wait a second. But yeah, it's no it's not a matter of, you know, what characters or what their genders are. It's really a matter of parents just being aware of, you know, what their kids are doing. But yeah, like, I think that Star Stable, you know, they have some opportunities available to them. They're already starting to make changes with their story. They're constantly changing the stories. Are you talking to me? I don't think she was talking about you. It's Wild Horse Studios. I think that I think purely Wild Horses was talking about themselves. Yeah, but no, I don't think this was that was addressed to you. I don't think that's the case. I mean, this is a friendly stream, so yeah, we're gonna be, yeah. I think this was directed at oneself, not directed to start anything against anyone. We don't want the smoke on here, bruh. Like, we don't want the smoke on here. We're gonna be kind. Yeah, like, always try to keep environments good and friendly because of that. But yeah, it's just a matter of, like, maybe Star Stable will change things up, and like their stories keeps on changing. My own typing should have put highly doubt. Oh, I see. Yeah. But yeah, Star Stable keeps on changing their story always, and even their characters are constantly changing them. But they can do some stuff there. But yeah, I think one issue is also because their Copa or Kappa has something there. But then again, yeah, there's just a lot of nuance there. But I'm looking forward to seeing some of the stuff they come up with. I'm just gonna get a little bit of water real quick. So, what was your favorite parts of BreyerFest as far as, like, I'm working on a custom right now. How neat! What breeding color are you going for, PRS Studios? Pretty excited. But if for those of you who either went to BreyerFest or did it virtually, like, what was your favorite part of BreyerFest this far? Because for me, if I had been able to actually watch it without all the screen tearing and problems, I probably would have been the Celebration of Horses show if they fixed that. And on the Schleich Tinkermare. I'm making her a babe to Tobiano. How nice! Spin Abbey Evening Show in Kelly's Corner virtually. How nice! I saw a moment with what's the name of that? The Australian gentleman who was there. I'm trying to remember. Trying to remember his name, but guy like McLean, and he I really like what he yes, thank you so very much, Purely Model Horses. I really liked Guy McLean. And then the Kelly's Corner, they show everything like in the archives. It's interesting because I didn't see as much archive content this time. Laugh out loud, I tuned into that live stream and it was Cloud documentary, like when the stallion looking glass. Oh yeah, I saw all three of the Cloud documentaries, and that was the hardest thing for me to wrap around my mind, because the mares were trying to actually help the foal, but it was obvious because foals usually get up within an hour of being born, and something happened. I'm not sure if that stallion could sense that foal was terminal and was going to die, and maybe did it as a mercy killing, because if a mountain lion, got that foal, it wouldn't have been as quick in it as it probably would have been. It should have been. I want to make a drawing for its star. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet of you. It's Wild Horse. That's so nice. I definitely, I appreciate that. Yeah, I see the work you've done, and I like the drawings you do. You do a very great job. Yeah, like if there's any, thank you also for what's your name, Sean the Dawn, for pointing that out, because I'm realizing that I'm learning different lighting techniques. I'm learning different video editing techniques. I'm constantly learning as an aspiring content creator. So, like, I have to learn that to adjust things so that way they look a little bit better. So that way they don't look as washed out. I didn't realize how washed out I looked there, but when you mentioned that, I realized, oh my gosh, how bad that sounded. But how bad that looked, but it's like, oh my goodness. But thank you. He literally animated my brother from one of my videos. Sean the Dawn did? How neat. So what new molds will be SRs next year? The Welsh Pony and who else? I like what you're going with, and I have a hunch that the Mustang mare and foal that was sculpted by was it Raven Maddock? Not like, which is supposed to be Firestorm's mare and foal. I bet they'll probably be the mare and foal set for next year, assuming Breyer goes ahead with that. And if they do, I'm gonna jump on that so fast, and I'm just gonna be like, buy those two, because if you know me well enough, I'm like, Mustangs for sure. I love the Mustangs. I'm like, I just like all the Mustang models, so I gotta have them. Like, no, it's Wild Horse did it. Beats me. Oh, neat. Oh man, yeah, the premier mare was a blue roan reverse dappled. Yes, I wanted them, but I kind of decided against doing the premier club for a few reasons. So what horses did you get? So I got 2 special runs, and let me count, like technically like 4 to 5 limited edition models, but I'm just give you a hint, like one of them was the Mustang. It's funny, we're talking Mustangs and Blue Zeus. It's like, if you look up at, no, this one, like Blue Zeus. Oh nice, yes. And also I'll do a video like with the haul later on for sure. Which ones did you get? Am I the only one who just forces himself to make my art perfect. I don't know if that was understandable, but no worries. Yeah, oopsie. I got Better Than Revenge, Just Like Fire, Wild Things, and a bunch of full secondhand. How neat. Just Better Than Revenge was also one of those models that initially I didn't care for, and then like once I actually saw the video of her, I was like, wow, that's actually nice. And I also forgot that she was also related to Lisa Frank, the Lisa Frank, not Lisa Frank herself, but the Lisa Frank drawings and artwork. I deleted it because I got embarrassed by it. No worries, no, don't worry here. I'm not like, I understand. Like, I'm not gonna be like one of those people that's no one's getting graded here on the basis of grammar, unless if it's a grammatical error that could really be interpreted as inappropriate. Like if you try to type something and it comes out as a word that's inappropriate, then I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'll have to ask you to delete that, so that way because I try to keep the content on here family friendly, or at least mostly family friendly. I love them all too. I want Rapunzel so bad. I love the red roan on the Cantering Fjord. Oh yeah, I thought that was also pretty cute as well. That was adorable. I wonder, like, if you could show that. Maybe, I'm not sure if you could show it as a Welsh pony or a Welsh pony cross, but yeah, I remember that year I wanted to get a special run so bad, but Breyer fumbled. Alright, they really fumbled because they made you pay a baseline of $100 plus, if it's $100 or $100 dollars plus shipping and handling, and you didn't even know what you're gonna get until it arrived to your home. And what if you got those bears, right? I mean, like, yeah, some people dream of having a set of 3 decorator bears, but they're not, you can't show those and get, like, maybe at a fun show. But I mean, I really would like to have the horses, and I would like to have a preference. So I'm glad that Breyer actually made it so you can choose, or at least put it in your preference form, and then you at least know what you're getting if you decide to buy something. Cantering Fjord, I want it so bad. Yes, I'm hoping that maybe Breyer does a regular run release with the free-flowing fjord mane. I realized that my only big Breyers are the new Paddock Pals, the cheap $5 ones. Hey, those are pretty neat as well. Are you talking the Paddock Pals as in, like, the more recent Paddock Pals? Are you talking about the Paddock Pals from, like, the 90s and early 2000s? Because the more recent Paddock Pals are probably the size of the Classics or Freedom series, whereas the Paddock Pals then were a little, ever so slightly bigger than stablemates, like one scale up, but definitely smaller than a Freedom series or traditional. I think that I like so much I like about them is that they at least have some details and not a plain horse. Yeah. The $5 ones are cool. I would like to see the color on the Cantering Fjord regular run. I have a glossy Astrid, so I must complete the Conga. Laugh out loud. How neat. I love Astrid. That's one of the models I'd love to have. I have Shadow, Maple, and Cocoa, I think. How neat. I'd probably look into those. I wish they'd bring back those old Paddock Pals. Yes! I remember they were such a hit for a period, and they never got as much popularity as, say, the other scales, which is sad because we have, like, curio-sized resins. Astrid, what Astrid? Please, PRS Studios, explain. Yeah, like the Astrid, they were a Premier Club model, but I can't remember what year. But they were on the Fjord mold, the newer Fjord mold, and the Gruyere coloring on that was just delicious. I'm just gonna put it like that. But they, like it looks cute and everything, but unfortunately, let's just say the Premier Club horses are so expensive, and they want you to lock in and get they want you to put in like a deposit, down payment or deposit, and like basically be in a situation where you're forced to buy all of the models, and that works for some people, but that just doesn't work with my budget right now. I mean, I could make it work, but I mean, do I want to at this point? And it's no. The blue roan, it's like, I have one of the old ones. It's the blue roan. I did laugh out loud how neat. I bet people would love them if they shrunk molds to the old paddock pile size. Yeah, now we're talking purely model horses. I'd be on board with that. I'd be totally on board with that. And then we'd be able to put them like next to our curious sized resins and such. I'd buy way too many if they did. Up your new Criamello horse you did on Astrid's model lasted nothing. She got sold so fast. Neat. Yeah, they offered matte or glossy, your choice. I chose her in glossy, and she looks really nice in gloss too. Usually I like the sootier colored models to be matte, but she actually looked very nice in glossy. Well, she was actually listed for a while. I just posted her video really late. Oh, neat. You were able to do that. I would love to look into that. I was really annoyed by Paddock Pals, and now I miss them. They were curious eyes, and I didn't know how good we had it. Yeah, I think what happened is, like, I think maybe in the early days they were super popular, but then as the molds became more smooth, let's just say that maybe people just fell out of love with the Paddock Pals because they looked at unless if you're like a vintage fan, some people just fell out of love with the Paddock Pals and decided to go with classics, not classics, as their stablemates. And now the classics, now they're called Freedom Series, but now like that's geared mostly toward younger collectors. There's not as much as been emphasis on the older collectors, which is sad because I remember when classics had their time in the spotlight too. Hey. She actually listed for a while, just posted her video really. I was really annoyed by. Okay, guys, I'm making a Schleich carriage, but a little question: what color should I make it? That would depend on what kind of discipline would it be. Would it be if it's like a kind of like a fancy carriage? Maybe either like a dark green or a white. If it's I'll probably go with that one. Yeah, dark green. PRS Studios, we had the same idea, more or less. I remember the Paddock Pals look like Schleichs. Yeah, and I still call them classics out of habit. Yeah, I remember the yeah, I still call Freedom Series models classics too because I used to collect classics when I was younger because the traditionals were just super expensive. I couldn't do it when I was younger. It wasn't until I got into like my until my late teens, early adult years that I really started to collect traditionals because they are better at showing. And once I entered my first model horse show, I was hooked from that point on. But even then it was very pricey, so I'd typically go to Craigslist and find out if people were getting out of the hobby. And what would happen is you'd have these adults that don't know the value of their models but still kept them in good condition. And I'd get them for these great deals, and I'd clean them up and such and put them in shows, and that's always fun. It's a hay wagon. Oh, okay, well maybe if it's gonna look like a hay wagon, maybe just like a regular, like a light brown would be good for that. I promise to y'all that the harness is going to look like trash. Hey, if it's your first, at least you're working on a carriage. I'm too scared to even work on one. And the harness, that scares me terribly, just the thought of trying to make one of those. Or you could just stain it dark brown or something, yeah. No, it won't. Yeah, you're I'm actually proud of you for attempting that because I'm too terrified to do such a thing. But just a little check on the stream health and everything. And also thank you so very much for the likes too. That helps get with the visibility. Maybe paint some pumpkins and vines on the hay wagon because it gives rides at Halloween. Oh, that's awesome! And I like what you're thinking, Coyote Clockwork Studios. When I finish it, I'll post it. Yes, you must. Yes, I would love to see that. Yeah, I really like the idea of making carriages. It's funny that you talk about the wagons and carriages because my riding instructor, he's my riding instructor, but his big focus is driving, with harnesses and carriages, and that's a big thing for him. He's totally on board with that. I even told him about the driving forward BreyerFest theme. I'm like I told my professor, you gotta get on board with this, and he's like, oh, it sounds wonderful, but life is busy, and understandably so. But yeah, he knows about my model horse obsession. And he's totally cool with it. He's like, oh, that's wonderful. He even mentioned something about me being out a model horse collector at an award dinner or something for the students there, and he's like, yeah, she's like involved in every aspect of horses, including model horses, and that's the great thing about college, because once you get to college, it's like everyone has some sort of quirk in college, so there's no making fun of you for collecting horses there. I mean, if you have something quote-unquote weird, somebody has something weirder. So that's that. I can go to a craft store and buy foam pumpkins. Yeah, that would be neat. That would be really wonderful. If I don't find them, I'll use clay. Yeah, I think there was somebody who has a workshop on making props, barn props. I can't remember the person who did it, but it's should be on the virtual feed, I believe, or is it an in-person workshop? I believe there might be, I don't quote me on it, but I believe there might be an in-person workshop there. They may not tell you how to make pumpkins, but it can give you an idea of how to work the clay and how to make it look like extra realistic and such. But that's the fun thing about model horses and prop making and such. But it's been so long since I've done something like that. Okay, yeah, it's cool. It really is pretty neat, the workshops they have on there. And I don't know for sure, but it seems like last time they had the BreyerFest content up through July, so that's cool. Where do people hang out during virtual BreyerFest? I'd say social media, so I believe a lot of people hang out on Facebook and Instagram, but I don't do either of those. I used to do Instagram, but yeah, I distanced myself from that for a few reasons, from a few years back with some drama and such, but I'm not mentioning names. But YouTube, I'm glad that we're doing something over here on YouTube. I'd love to see more action on YouTube. I would also I'm going to also pitch an idea to Breyer to start their own exclusive Discord server for those who pay for either a virtual or in-person ticket, where the ticket owners can have access to that Discord server. Just kind of like how some channels have memberships, and if you pay a certain fee, you can get access to that exclusive server. But yeah, I mean, basically Facebook and Instagram predominantly, YouTube to an extent, like I'm trying to do, and maybe one day somebody will start a Discord account. By the way, a little surprised that the carriage is my birthday gift for my dad. How neat! He asked me to make him a carriage. How neat! That's so sweet. I'm glad your dad is involved with the hobby like that. It's wild horse. Nice. I'm in a model horse server where we chat about it. Oh, cool. Would you happen to know the name of the server? I mean, I hardly touch Discord, but it'd be nice to have an excuse to actually use it. I did it for college and for a single day thing, and then like it went for years without using it. Then Dennis got on and did his server, and then left and deleted the server. Then my cousin tried to do the server with me, and she's been busy. Life's gotten busy. Crescent Cove model horses and art. Hey, I may have to look into that. Is it okay if I probably take a little photo of that so I don't forget? Or at least I'll probably write it down instead. I had the worst luck of discovering that school is just going to start 13th of August. My birthday is 16th of August. Oh, that's so sad. I'm so sorry that that's the case. That sucks. Like, if it makes you feel any better, one time I took a math midterm on my birthday, and let's just say it really I was not happy. I didn't get any sleep that night. I have a Discord. Hey, cool Coyote Clockwork Studios. Oh, nice. I'm just gonna type in real quickly Crescent Cove model horses and art. So, like, if we want to, like, share Discord stuff, I'd have to... Oh my gosh, when's the last time I actually went into Discord? I might still be logged in. Let me see here. I go to Discord. Oh, hey, I even forgot my login credentials and everything. I have it somewhere, but I'm gonna have to go back and find it. I'm probably not coming to school that day. Hey, it's like one day out of the year, so at least you get that opportunity. But just make sure, just be careful, because they'll try to get you on that one. I have to go to work on my birthday. Oh man, I'm sorry. Yeah, hey, if it's a good, you never know. Maybe your coworkers will throw you a little mini party or bring like cupcakes or cake or something. I heard that some places do that, not all, but some. But I took a midterm one semester. I got zero sleep that morning. I mean, like, I was exhausted. I was like so PO'd that morning that I decided, like, while it was still dark in the morning, like 4, 5-ish in the morning, I decided to just clean my bathroom and shower. And I texted my cousin talking about, like, because she's on the East Coast, so we're like 2 to 3 hours difference depending on what time of the year, and just being like, I can't sleep. It's my birthday morning. I should be relaxing, but I'm stressing over this midterm. But thankfully I got a good grade on it, so it was well worth it, thank God. But it's just a second. I may have to put it on the break screen real quick. Just a second. Oops. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought somebody was knocking on the door or something. Everything's alright. Keep working on the carriage, guys. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I think I'll get a bonus or something. Hey, awesome! Hey, that's great. You at least get that. Some people don't, like, some bosses don't do that, but... Okay, see you a little bit. It's Wild Horse. I'm sorry. I just had to pop out for a second there because I saw someone was knocking on the door, and I got a little nervous there. I'm like, is everything alright? But yeah, everything appears to be okay. So that's a good thing. Just checking a little something with my live stream health. Not sure why it shows like an error occurred. But yeah, I really had a nice enjoyable BreyerFest this year. And I don't know what next year for sure is gonna have, but I'm really holding out. Like, the FOMO was so terrible this year with respect to BreyerFest, because I had everything, I mean everything lined up, and then one thing after another started to happen where, excuse me, I had to make this last minute decision, within a month, that I wouldn't be able to go there because of the things that were happening. And the one thing I could talk about is my dog and how she had a scare. She gave me a scare earlier in the month, and also like closer to BreyerFest, because she was just having some issues. I took her to the vet. Turned out she had pancreatitis, but thankfully that's been resolved with medication. Yeah, it was because she was going to the bathroom, but there was something wrong with, I don't want to get into the details because it's kind of gross, but something was wrong, and she had that, but thankfully the medication helped with the pancreatitis. She's doing much better now, but she has other health issues that she's not in a position where I can make a big giant trip like that with her, and I'm not just going to leave her with a total stranger. And given her age, the only person that I would trust her with, to leave her with, does not do well with animals who are, older or sick. She gets very emotional when it comes to stuff like that, so I don't want to put her in that predicament either. So, yeah, thankfully, she's 15. She's going to be 16 in October, God willing, but she appears to be doing better now, but she still has some minor health complications that, while can be mitigated while I'm still here at home with her, she just doesn't have the physical fitness to be able to go on a long trip per se. And there's only one person in the world that I trust her with, or maybe two, but won't be able to handle something if something bad were to happen. As far as she's healthy, but the thing is, she is old, so I mean, she could have another 6 months. She could have a shorter period of time, and I cannot risk something like that happening to her without me being there in the picture and being able to take something for action. So yeah, she can't travel like that anymore. She can manage a short distance trip, like if I were to go back to On the Edge Live, but as far as BreyerFest is concerned, I'm not able to do it this year. I don't know how long she'll be around. Oh, poor puppy. Yeah, she's thankfully doing much better now, but she does have those health issues that are age related. It's I even asked the vet, because she said, this is nothing that you did on your end. You didn't do anything wrong, but some of these health complications are a result of age. Now, she's not at that point. That's very responsible of you. Thank you. There's just some other things that also came up that also hindered, but that there with my dog was a challenge there. But the vet basically said, otherwise she appears to be doing well. She's still, just so you know, my dog is happy. She still wags her tail, and sometimes she even likes to play with me and such. So she's not at that point where, it's time to do anything with respect to, putting her down or anything like that. I'll only do that if it ever gets to the point where she's suffering irreparably. And that's the most ethical thing I can do. But I don't want to deprive her of life when she still has the will to live. That's, I think, the whole point of euthanasia, is if it's the most humane thing to do. But I don't think it would be right for me to, to force that upon her when she still wants to live. She still enjoys life. It's not like she's struggling to get out of bed and, suffering. Not that kind of thing. But this means that I have to make some sacrifices for her on her behalf. But yeah, I'm happy for her now, because she's wagging her tail, her bathroom, everything there appears to be going well. But I do have to keep my eye on her, because as far as the health condition stuff is going, she's okay now. It's mild now, but there's a chance it could get more severe. So the vet, I'll have to take her in almost routinely to have her checked out and make sure that it's not becoming an issue. So yeah, I'm not losing sleep over it right now, because she's, as far as the pancreatitis is concerned, she's getting better there. She's gotten better there. Everything, her stool looks great. I'm sorry for I actually shouldn't be talking about this on the stream, I realize. But yeah, but everything is better now. But yeah, that's that. But at least virtually with BreyerFest, that helps, It gives me an outlet to have at least a little bit of fun, even though things aren't perfect. We used to have a Sheltie, but she got old, so we had to put her down. But at least we have Bandit now. I'm so sorry about your Sheltie, but Bandit, I'm glad to hear about your dog. Bandit, what breed of dog is he, if I may ask? It's like your family, Jeez. I'm hoping to go to BreyerFest. Yes, I'm crossing my fingers for that one too. But that also depends on a lot of things as well. At least BreyerFest, it's a shorter trip than Kentucky for me. I missed registration because it was like in November. Oh, sorry. I mean, I also had plans to go to BreyerFest, but then that fizzled because I wasn't able to get a show slot. Show slot. Where I wasn't able to get into the show, and then I waited and waited and waited, and other things came up as well, and I had to cancel the plans for that. And that when I shut the door on BreyerFest, the doors for On the Edge Live opened up, and because it's closer, that also made things easier. He does have some Great Pyrenees, and oh my gosh, I love Great Pyrenees. They're big and beautiful. I love them. I mean, I love large dogs. I'm just not at a point in my life where I could actually have a large dog. But if I could have a large dog, that would probably be one of the breeds I would be more interested in. My dog is a little terrier, she's not toy sized, but she's not a medium sized dog either. She's like a small dog, but like definitely not a Chihuahua per se. She's a Norwich Terrier, so kind of think almost like a cousin of the Cairn Terrier. He's medium sized, but his brothers are huge. Wow, nice. Man, Great Pyrenees are wonderful. They're delightful. But my dog is she's like, last time I got her weight checked, she's like 11 pounds, but like a few years ago she was like closer to like 13, give or take. As dogs get older, like when they're like senior, they put on a little bit of weight, but when they get geriatric, like my dog is, they start to lose some of their muscle tone and a little bit of weight, but thankfully she's not like underweight per se. So she's within a reasonable weight right now. So yeah, that's that with her. The Great Pyrenees are delightful. Not too many people know about them, but those of us who do, it's like I'm like everyone talks about the golden retrievers, and I like golden retrievers, but Great Pyrenees are like have that beautiful disposition. They're wonderful. But any of you ever have plans to go to BreyerFest in person, or have ever been to BreyerFest in person? Because I've been a few times. Like, I know that my first experience was in 2010. Then, but that was for one day. Then I went in 2014, 2015, and 2016, all for 3 days. Then I went again for the 3-day experience in 2019, but I haven't gone back since because of, so many things. It would be cool to go someday, but I'm in Canada. Oh, I see. I dreamed of going since the first one. Laugh out loud. Wow. I wasn't even alive when the first BreyerFest came about, so Yeah, but it's been around most of my life, but I didn't hear about it until like my childhood years. I went in person in 2013, but haven't been back in person since maybe next year. That's pretty cool that you went in 2013. I almost made that one, but that didn't work out. But I wound up going in 2014, which happened to be the Silver Jubilee. I won the diorama contest during Celtic Fling. Congratulations, late congratulations, but nonetheless congratulations, Coyote Clockwork Studios. What diorama? What theme was the diorama on? And I'd love to enter the BreyerFest contest, but they say Arizona residents cannot do the contest, so I don't know why. I know some state legislators and such, and I know some connections, so I'll probably talk to some people and say, hey, any of you know the legal loophole in this, and can we do anything legally, obviously, to like create legislation to overturn that, so that way Arizona residents could compete. Oh, thank you all. Absolutely. What theme was it, if I may ask? As far I know the BreyerFest theme, but I mean the theme of the diorama contest. Like what was your inspiration? Should I say, if I may ask, of course, because that's always neat. I know that Think of Stormy recently did Lisa Frank inspired one and did pretty well. I did the puka glowing Celtic lines on a classic Morgan, a goat, a dog, and a cat. How neat! I don't know too many things about pukas, but all I know is that they're some sort of Irish demon creature, monster, something like that. I think that might be the inspiration for Halloween, but I don't know for sure. That's pretty neat. Like, that's a part of Irish culture there, from what I've heard. They're shape-shifting Celtic thingies who most often appear as a horse. I did not know that. That's my first time learning that, so I'd actually have to look into it, because I've heard about Kelpies, but didn't know that puka is actually the original form is their main form is usually as a horse. And can also appear as other animals, so I put them in the diorama. Neat. So it's almost like those legends, like, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking X-Files, where you had like those shapeshifters. Like, I believe they have shapeshifters in like Native American, American Indian culture, folklore rather, and some other stuff. I hired a professional photographer and submitted a GIF of the diorama rotating. How awesome! That is so cool. That is really, really cool. Now that was pretty epic too. Like, I don't think many people had that idea, so kudos to you and congratulations. I love that. That is so neat. I stole the prize horse for... Oh my gosh! Wow! Man, talking about making out super well with that. Congratulations. Man. Oh, the prize horse that you got from your thing. How awesome! I'm sad you weren't able to keep it, but I'm glad you were able to get some other model horses. And then also, it's also a matter of preference, because not everyone likes the prize models, understandably, because some years they used the cartoony looking horses for the prize models. But that's great that you were able to make that kind of money on the prize models. Yeah, I would really like to participate, but like, why can't Arizona residents participate? He was on the old Frisian mold run of 12, but very mad, laugh out loud. Starts working on a diorama for BreyerFest. Oh my gosh, that's great. Only PRS Studios, I think we're in the same predicament, because if I'm not mistaken, you said you're in Canada, and I'm not sure if Canadian residents can participate in the competition either, which sucks. I feel your pain. I'm in Colorado, so we can't enter either. Oh man, we got some terrible luck here with that, but it's my understanding that it's the state laws that are responsible for that. So I think like what you could do is find out who your state representatives and legislators, you're like, so yeah, you have like, you know, the House of Representatives, but I'm talking about like state legislators. I lived in Utah during Celtic Fling. How neat. I would love to actually go visit Utah again because it's so long ago, but I've seen a little bit of Utah. It's so nice. But yeah, like, so you got the House of Representatives and the Senate and Congress. You know, you got Congress at the federal level, but then you got your state representatives, which, you know, it's almost like Congress, but at the state level. And those are the people you go to. You find out, like, there's some resources to find out. It's a good idea to contact them and say, hey, what would prevent somebody from participating in a competition like this and getting prizes? And if you contact them, they can give you some information, and sometimes they'll even let you kind of brief them on the issue and such. So yeah, I know a little bit about that from some advocacy and doing poli-sci, but that's a whole other can of worms there. Unless I go to in person, I will never do it again. Laugh out loud. It must have been a major project though, but hey, you won a prize model and you got $1,500. I recently went to North Dakota. It was so neat there. How awesome. I did a video on it on my main channel. I love places that are like mountainous and sunny, and you got lots of wildlife. You just put me into any of those places, I'm happy. That's one of the reasons why I came out here, because we do have good weather and wildlife, but even that's beginning to get more urbanized per se. More people are moving into the area, and it's not small growth either, it's exponential growth, and just to the point where even like bears are starting to run into neighborhoods and such. I actually saw one in my neighborhood, and yeah, we got that problem sadly. But I love those places that have like the mountains and the wildlife. And North Dakota, it's my understanding. I want to check that out because it's so beautiful. And Utah is another very, very beautiful state. There's some aspects of Utah that I really love from what I've read about. One of the things they have is there's the Onaqui Mountain Herd Management Area with the Mustangs there, and I want to check that out at some point. Excuse me. But yeah, I'd like to check that out sometime. But yeah, those are all beautiful places to visit. I really want to take a trip to those places at some point. I can't say when that will be because of everything that's going on currently in my life right now, but when things start to slow down a little bit, I may try to go and visit those places. But for the time being, I'm happy. I try to take things one step at a time. But yeah, I'm just stretching out now, but I'll probably go for another 13 minutes and probably end the stream at the 5:30 mark my time. So how do you like that trip, PRS Studios, to North Dakota? Because I've heard great things about North Dakota, but I think that's one of the few states I haven't actually at least driven through or visited per se. Because I haven't lived in every state. I did travel out as a kid, but but there's only a few states I've actually lived in per se. But I'm used to road trips. It's very nice. We went to Medora, which is a little western town, and it's so cool. How nice! I love those little western towns. The western towns were beautiful. We kind of have some western stuff out here. Oatman is one area. Theodore Roosevelt lived there for. Oh my gosh! You went to Theodore Roosevelt? Did you see the Mustangs there? Is Colorado on the way to Kentucky for you? Because I would need to go with someone to attend BreyerFest in person. It really depends on what route. I'm not sure if it really goes. I don't think it might, but I don't know for sure. So I don't know. Unfortunately, no, I was so disappointed I didn't see them. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you didn't get to see them. Oh my gosh. That's Theodore Roosevelt is on my bucket list, partially for the Mustangs, but for so many other. I'm very happy to be virtual. Yeah, at least I'm glad that Breyer has that option. But I saw lots of prairie dogs. So cute, all the prairie dogs. They're like the meerkats of North America. But Theodore Roosevelt on my bucket list. Another thing that was also had lined up for this year, but I also had to cancel because of other things that were going on, including my dog, was Yellowstone. So that's another thing on my bucket list, and that's also ties into Wolf Quest and everything. So Theodore Roosevelt, Yellowstone, Glacier. There's Glacier. I definitely want to check that out. Somebody told me to check that out sooner rather than later because the glaciers in Glacier National Park are melting. The other one is Olympus. Olympus, is it Olympus or is it Olympic? It's one of those. It's in Washington State, and I want to check that one out. My friends went there. I heard it's very cool. Which one? Was it Yellowstone or one of the other ones? But I've been to Grand Canyon, of course, because I'm in Arizona, so how can I not? Yellowstone, how neat. Yeah, I've heard great things about it. I know people who went there. I even had my academic advisor in my previous college. He went there and he had lots of great photos from there. But I've been to Grand Canyon, and I've also been to Yosemite in California. And if you haven't gone to Yosemite, you got to go once in your life. It's just one of the most beautiful places I've ever stepped foot in, and it brings out the child in me because it's so gorgeous. It's one of the national parks that's revered for its beauty, but I think all of the national parks have their own beauty to them. Yellowstone, I believe, is much bigger, and I believe it's a super volcano, I believe. But yeah, I just hope that doesn't blow up because if that goes to crap, everything else is going to go down with it. So yeah, it's amazing how one of the deadliest volcanoes on the planet has some of the highest rates of biodiversity and wildlife and everything. But yeah, that's a volcano for you. But it's like, oh, did I tell you me and my family are going to Norway again this year? You might have said something about Norway. I wasn't sure if you're going back again, but I'm excited for you. I'm so excited. That's awesome. I would love to. I'd love to travel out of state. Out of the country rather. I've only really been in the United States. I've been in Puerto Rico, but not the pretty parts of Puerto Rico either. More like your industrialized, urbanized areas of Puerto Rico. Not the tropical pretty rainforest. Although I did visit San Juan as a very young child. The closest thing I ever got to being outside the United States was actually Cuba, and that's because I don't remember much of it, but supposedly the plane had to make some sort of emergency landing because of some technical issue there. But yeah, it wasn't like a crash landing or anything like that, but it had to land in Cuba. But Yeah, but that was only like for a few hours. It's not like I remember really stepping out or doing anything. But that's not a vacation, obviously. Oh wow, yeah. There was something happened with the plane engine. I don't know enough about it. I was a very young child at the time that it happened, but yeah, there was no crash, nothing dramatic like that. But there was something was definitely wrong with the engine. That's all I know. But yeah, but flying by plane is the safest form of transportation. But if something does happen, it's pretty bad. And then you got all this drama with Boeing, and I'm not going to pretend to know more about the issue than I do, but that doesn't help either, right? When you just want to go and visit places. But I like, if I ever get the chance to visit someplace outside the United States, I'd love to go visit Norway. Some other place I'd like to visit, let me think. I know there's one place in South America. I think it was Patagonia for sure. That's a gorgeous area. It's something Del Torres National Park. I've seen photos of that, and I just thought, that's the closest thing to heaven I've ever seen as far as images are concerned, not actually being there. Patagonia, have you looked up a Patagonian hare? I have not. You know what? I'm gonna Google it now that you mention it, because it sounds pretty interesting. I know they have some free roaming horses there, and some is it the Patagonia Namara? Is it hopefully it shows up. I'm not sure if it's gonna show up all that well. Is this what you're referring to? I wonder if is this what you're referring to? Yes, okay. Yeah, they're pretty neat. They almost look like capybaras almost. But except longer legs. I don't know, it's almost like it has like a capybara with the legs of a horse, and the ears almost like a rabbit's, but shorter. They have like little hooves. They're so neat. Oh my gosh, their feet do look a little. I'm just zooming in on the feet a little bit, but yeah, it's unfortunately not letting me show it all. But they have also, I forgot what they call it, but something that looks almost like an alpaca. I can't remember if it's called Garacho or something. But they're pretty neat. The other thing, some other places I would like to go to Iceland. Check that out. In Spain, I want to check out the place called Las Caballerizas, which is a old Spanish riding school. I think it's even older than, I believe it's older than the Spanish riding school in Vienna, Austria, although I'd love to check that out too. Patagonia is also the only place in the world where orcas hunt seals by breaching themselves onto the sand. Interesting. Although that part would make me sad because I love seals, but I love orcas too, so it's like me when I play Wolf Quest. It's like so sad, but it's part of life. Oh yes, my friend has been in Iceland. It's so amazing, so neat. I've seen photos. It looks gorgeous. They also have the that's where the Icelandic courses originate, I believe. And I believe once they take an Icelandic course out of Iceland, they can't bring them back because of some disease prevention measure. But yeah, that's been considered a little controversial there. But yeah, that's definitely some places I would love to visit someday. I've never really truly. Yes, I've heard of that. Yeah, it's pretty interesting how they have that law. That's emergency landing in Cuba was the closest thing to me ever really being outside of the United States, but that was only a few hour thing. That wasn't like a long-term thing. That's not a vacation. That's That's not even really, I'm not even sure if I can call it really, like, I guess I could put it on a cheat sheet and say, yeah, I've been outside of the United States, but it was an emergency thing. I didn't really get to see it. I'd like to visit Mongolia, but it's a wasteland, so maybe not a wise choice. Oh, interesting. I wasn't sure that Mongolia was a waste. Is it because of what happened with Chernobyl? I'm not sure if it's affected that area, but I thought that was no, because that was Russia. That was Russia. Unless something happened in that area. But I'm getting mixed up because I remember there being Chevalsky horses in that area of Chernobyl up in Russia. After humans left that area because of the what happened. Mongolia is where Genghis Khan comes from, north of China. Laugh out loud. How neat. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's something to be said. I know that Mongolia has a huge equine culture there. At least I read about that with one of my classes, but I didn't know it was a wasteland. I wonder if there's some sort of incident. But yeah, I've reached the 2-hour mark at 5:30, so this is. And like the last people to conquer Russia in the winter were the Mongols. They were there and were like, look at all this food, how interesting. I reached the 2-hour mark, so I hate to break it to you, I'm going to have to cut this stream short. For those of you who are subscribed and came to visit, like Coyote Clockwork Studios and PRS Studios, thank you so very much for popping in and for chatting. Hopefully will do something like this in the future again. If you are watching and are not subscribed and you found this interesting, or you like anything all model horses, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Starific content. Again, thank you so very much, Coyote Clockwork Studios and PRS Studios, and also it's Wild Horse. I'm sorry I have to cut this short. It's been a 2-hour stream, so I'm gonna have to get off. But and also thank you, Purely Model Horses. Thanks for watching my superstars. Always dream with your eyes open.